What's up everyone? I have a 5 queen victory for today, and under normal circumstances this victory would usually be impossible. People would not allow you to promote 4 pawns to queens, and even if they did somehow, I don't think they'd want to keep playing and they just resign before you beat them with the 5 queens. So this time around I'm playing with my friend Martin, who is the weakest bot on chess.com. He has 250 rating, he's Bulgarian like me, so I thought I would be allowed to do this, to play against him and not a real player for this 5 of a kind. So yeah, what the game plan is, I'm trying to advance my pawns from early on and hopefully pick off his pawns for free. The most difficult part of this challenge was for me to be able to get his pawns, because they're obviously in the way of my pawns promoting. So yeah, it's going to get some picking and prodding in the position. I have to maybe kick away some of his pieces, maybe develop my pieces in such a way that I'm attacking on multiple squares at the same time. Most of all, I don't really want to be making pawn trains, because I'll be needing at least 4 of the other pawns to be able to promote into queens for the queen 5 of a kind. So I'm trying to not resort to pawn trades, but sometimes they're just necessary. In my game that I played, I even gave away the queen at some point so that I could promote 5 fresh pawns to become queens. So yeah, I don't have the slightest freedom in that aspect. I've also sped up the game a little bit. I think it's 2 times speed right now, just because I'm thinking so long usually and I don't want to bore you to death. So yeah, I'm just playing. It's very uncomfortable having your pawns so far advanced. You can see that his knights are doing whatever they want. They can enter my position however they please, because my pawns are so spread out like that. But you have to do what you have to do in order to get the queen 5 of a kind, and I think I'm going to be giving away my second pawn this game right here, just because it's for a knight and such an offer is difficult to pass up. And at the end I will want to simplify, so yeah, I want to be left with only the king and the 5 queens at the end. So I'm going to be deliberately blundering my pieces. I'm going to be making some exchanges so that most of the pieces that aren't required are off the board. And I have to say that this game made me learn a little bit more about chess, because it showed me the power of far advanced pieces like that. Like, you can see the pawns that are on the 5th rank right now, they're quite scary for my opponent. I imagine my opponent would be quaking in his boots if he were a real person, but unfortunately for him, he's only a robot. So yeah, the opponent allowed me actually to get a rook for free as well as a pawn, and that just avalanches into a disaster for my opponent, because now I'm infiltrating with the queen and he's left with very little pieces. I even took his rook, he took my rook in exchange, but I'm very happy with that because I want it off the board anyway. So we're nearing that phase where I'm almost at the point where I should start blundering my pieces deliberately. You can see I did it with the queen. I accidentally actually left one of the pawns to be taken, I didn't see that. Thankfully I have exactly 5 pawns left over, and I snapped the knight off before it has an opportunity to take one of my pawns, even though it's defended by the bishop. I'm not going to be overestimating the 250 rated bot, because he moves very weirdly. So who knows, maybe he did want to sacrifice the knight for a pawn for no reason, so I didn't allow that to happen. And we are nearing the last challenge of this game, which is for me to be able to promote all the rest of my pawns into queens. and at the same time not stalemate my opponent, because right now he has some pawn moves left, but I'm pretty soon going to take away his last 2 pawns, and at that point he's only going to have a king left. And if a king is not in check but has no moves, nowhere he can go to without it being protected by the piece of an opposite color, it's a stalemate, so I'm trying to avoid that at all costs. I'm taking with the rook here, thankfully with check. I don't want to checkmate as well, obviously, because I still haven't promoted my last 2 pawns. And that bishop in the distance as well as the rook, they are doing a very good job monitoring the squares of the king under normal circumstances, but it's something I don't really want to have happen right here. So I'm just giving away my bishop for free, hopefully not stalemating in the process. I'm really pushing the bishop, as you can see, into the king's face. He didn't want to take for whatever reason. But we're pretty close to the victory now. I'm shoving away the queens in the corner so that they don't control as many squares as they would usually. Normally you want the queen to be in the center of the board, because that way it controls the most squares. Subsequently, in the corner it controls the least amount of squares, that's why I'm putting all my queens there. But I will need some help in order to promote this last pawn, as well as giving away the rook. The bot didn't want it the first time, the bot didn't want it the second time, but the third time he took it finally. Thankfully he didn't make me force a draw with repetition. So yeah, we are nearing the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed this 5 of a kind, it's quite special in my opinion. Like, sub, do all the generic stuff, and I'll see you next time, take care.